So you know how we're told like smoking's bad, and if we breathe in cigarettes, then we will say get cancer and die, right? But then you think about incense candles, that's still smoke, and you could say that incense is made from specific herbs and spices, and therefore it's healthier than what's in a cigarette, but it's still all smoke. Is breathing in incense smoke bad for you? Does it have any health effects or not, like fire does, like
Yeah.
fire smoke does?
Yeah, I mean, of course it does, but it's not like direct contact with it. Like you're not just gonna hold up an incense, like inhale it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not direct smoke. I definitely think that it's not that great for you depending on the ingredients, but I don't think they've done any like research, like not research, studies on that. You know what I mean? To like
So
prove
you
that.
so you're saying that not enough research has been done on incense sticks?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know though. I'm not sure, but I think there are like cheap ass incense that are horrible for you that people
See,
burn
like
all the time because it smells good. It's like candles with like red 40 and and weird food colorings and ingredients, and people just burn them and let that sit in their house. It's like that's not good for you either.
so you're saying that a lot of people they do it because it smells good, and like for example, AirPods, Apple AirPods, those are Chinese crap knockoffs being made. So you get sound, but the sound's not as half as good as an Apple genuine one. So incense, some of them are made with pure natural stuff, and then some could be made with like chemical, toxic lab stuff with like
Yeah,
say
of course.
poisons and stuff in that is just sold on the market for cheap, like whacked on eBay, and that obviously is so much
Yeah,
bad for you than a natural one.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, interesting. Right.
Like
So,
I have this soy candle here. It's great. I'm not sure exactly what it has, but it doesn't have any weird synthetic colors in it, so that's good.
that's the word, synthetic. So obviously there's synthetic incense as opposed to natural stuff. Going back like to say India or wherever the incense came from, at some point some person would have had to get all these ingredients, mash them together and burn it. And like anything over time, the original recipe, like KFC, right, becomes lost, and then you get
Yeah,
knockoff chicken shops just putting like
yeah.
everything in, like some paprika, some cumin, some
That's not an
parsley.
example because KFC sucks and it's not natural and it's processed. So, but I know what you mean.
So when you say processed, right, what's your opinion on the difference between preserved and processed?
Processed is like adding shit onto it that is not healthy for you. Preserved is like when you're preserving like fruits and vegetables that are just fermenting there. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not adding anything. It's just time. So that's the difference. It's like one is using time, and the other one is just adding a bunch of weird shit so that you don't use time. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't want to wait. Yeah.
Um, are you hang on? Are you using 3G or Wi-Fi? Because that fucked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what are you using?
Honestly, I'm not even connected to Wi-Fi. I forgot to do that.
That's why I've never. I've been speaking to a robot. I've been speaking to Elon Musk's PA.
Yo, Elon Musk is weird as fuck. Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah. Is it connected
Okay.
to Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you got that round the wrong way. Processed is where, say, you have a piece of chicken breast and you
Yeah.
blend it and then add stuff to it like
Yeah.
spices and stuff like that. Not necessarily unhealthy process.
That's true.
Preserved is where you would add shit to it to make it last longer. So KFC, you've got pure chicken fillet, you've got say herbs and spices, all mixed with flour, and you whack that on some egg and then egg onto the chicken, and then you fry it. Like that is healthy. A kebab, right? Kebab doner
Sure.
meat.
Yeah.
It's
I
lamb
guess it's
off
my own
cuts.
connotation of the word. Yeah.
Yeah, like my mum used to also say, ham is processed and it's bad for you. And I was like, well, hang on a sec, it's not processed. It's an actual sliced bit of like gammon, right? But it's preserved so it lasts, say, 7 days in the fridge. And like anything, we
It's
have an
processed.
idea of, huh?
It is processed when it's like coming from like a fast food chain or something.
They're like, so you get ham in a packet, right? Sandwich
Yeah.
ham. That's just like a piece of gammon cooked and then sliced. It's preserved, so things are added to it so it lasts longer. So that's preserved. But if you get like say chicken that's not breast and it's all like mixed and blended, so it's like just one round thing. Like say what you get in Subway, like the chicken in Subway, that's processed. So it's like chicken fillets blended rather than a fillet, you know?
Okay, sure.
So KFC, like kebab meat, is actually healthy. Like
Are we
microwave
really just gonna
meals.
talk about me right now?
You're
Let's switch
vegan.
the conversation. Let's switch the
Okay,
conversation.
right,
I'm bored of this shit.
right. Choose a topic.
How you been? How has this um time been for you?
It hasn't changed anything. I've just been podcasting, do what I'm doing, going on walks, like anything. COVID isn't killing people. People's weak immune systems are letting them down because they don't get enough sleep, they don't eat well, they don't have enough sex, they don't drink water, they don't exercise, they're obese, they eat shit, they sit in front of the TV all day. That's why they're dying, not because of
Yeah.
COVID. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
I don't really care, to be honest. I think it's just been I just don't care to give it energy anymore.
No.
Everyone talks about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just go about my day. Like when I went to London before this even happened, I was the only person wearing a mask, and I used to wear a mask on the tube because of how bad the airflow is. Like there's
Mhm.
just dust and mud in the air. So I started to wear masks. And then when this COVID thing was suddenly become aware, I was wearing it anyway, and people were staring at me like, why the fuck is this non-Chinese person wearing a mask? Because
Uh,
Chinese people, when they come to London, they wear masks, right? I'm not Chinese. Well, I am technically quarter, but I don't look Chinese, right? So I'm wearing a mask, and to everyone else, I'm a white guy wearing a mask, and they're like, "Why is he wearing a mask for? With stupid color socks on?" Because I have two different color socks. And now I'm like, "Look at you fuckers!" And they're all wearing a mask.
That's good. Damn, dude, it's really that polluted out there? Or
So
is it
you
just
know,
like it's not polluted, it's just you said it was dust, right? It was like
just imagine
dirty.
you go like, say you go, I don't know, I see 200 meters underground,
Oh right,
and
okay.
you've got people, their clothes dust, their shoes, the dirt, the train tracks, the coal, the fumes from the
Right.
train. That's not going anywhere. That's just in the air. And as it comes through the tunnel, dust on the brick, dust from digging. It's just the same shit. And if you look, you can see literally the pollution, and it makes sense why so many people have asthma problems when they live in like cities because breathing in all that all day compared to pure oxygen, like if you lived in by trees,
Yeah.
has a significant difference. And then, I mean, people have people smoking and people using e-cigarettes, all that, you know, as you said, man-made chemical liquid. That is a
Yeah.
massive thing that people have. Again, that's like corona. You don't realize what it's doing to you until it affects enough people. Like people smoke e-cigarettes like it's a fashion, you know, like people choose to smoke e-cigarettes when they don't even smoke. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's synthetic. Smoking a cigarette's probably more healthy than
Yeah.
smoking that synthetic stuff. I mean, you know,
Yeah, it's
tobacco is
wild.
pretty much just the leaf, but you know,
It's wild.
what's been on your thoughts lately? What have you been trying to work out and analyze lately?
Um, it's a good question. I've just been just learning how to be be present, you know? I feel like I think a lot sometimes. I just like overthink things. I'm not present. I'm always trying to get to the next moment. So I'm just trying to do things that allow me to be okay with now and to be happy with just now. And that's like being a lot more patient and in love with the moment, you know? But it's hard because, you know, life is weird. Life is filled of,
So you've been a human doing rather than a human being, correct?
yes, a human. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's
someone
what
on a someone on another podcast said that, and I was like, wow, that is amazing. So I've
yeah,
nicked it.
that's
But
real.
yeah, I've been a human being for 7 years now, and before I was a human doing. I always had to be doing something. Like when most people are sleeping, I wanted to go night clubbing, go to the casino, I wanted to go on walks.
Oh,
I always had
oh,
to be doing something, and now I really value just watching Netflix for like all day and doing nothing. I've done the extreme from always having to be doing something, always knocking on people's doors to go out and do stuff, calling
Yeah.
up friends, let's do this, do that, to the point where I got so pissed off that they weren't doing things with me because they actually had work to get up for, and like me, I didn't, right? Because I'm a free spirit. I just sort of fuck it, did things by myself, and then I got
So
so
what do you mean by
content
doing nothing? What is doing nothing to?
not having something to do, and just
Well,
sort of
you just said watching Netflix, so that's doing something.
right. So just like say, rather than meditating, I'm doing one thing, like your usual regular thing, like just something you do regularly. So reading the newspaper is something that people do say all the time, right? That's like your second, your third leg. Whereas going out from Netflix to do something, that's something else. So just by doing one thing and sticking to it as a part of the routine, I never could do that. Always had to do something different, something new, something else. You know,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like having a shower. It's just part of your routine. Watching Netflix, part of your routine. But going out to do something or go shopping or you know
Right.
stuff like that.
Like something a bit more stimulating and out of the ordinary.
Yeah. So learning to not have to stimulate more than how you're being stimulated. So what
Right.
you feel you want, you get used to it, becomes the norm, like smoking, and then it becomes weed, and it becomes cocaine, and then it becomes, that becomes your norm. Just
Right.
tolerating and being grateful with just a cigarette and not thinking, okay, well, I want a bigger high, like having a girlfriend. Okay, so the sex is boring. I want new sex. It's like, no, this is as good as it gets. Like, it's not going to get any better. And then you go for somebody else and you lose that. So it's just like learning to appreciate watching that Netflix, enjoying it, and it's not going to get any better. And if you were to go out clubbing, you'd reach that new feeling of a high, like a new love, and then it will become the norm, and then you go to something else, and you realize,
Right.
wow, no matter what I do, I'm just chasing that new feeling, and everything gets boring after a while. And that's where you become a human being, just be, and just accept that this is as good as it gets. Like, that's it.
Hmm. Okay. I can see where that definitely can have a balance though. Like you can be in the moment and then realize that this is not for you and want to move on, but there's also that balance of, but this is where I am now, so I better accept it, because why chase something that isn't here? You know what I mean? So the knowing that, let's say you're in a situation where it's not benefiting you with a person, and you just say, it's as good as it's going to get, but it's like it can get better. But then you have to realize that you cross the line when you feel that love or something, and you have these thoughts that there's something more, and your mind is kind of getting in the way of the way you feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Quickly, are you connected to Wi-Fi? Because it became robotic.
Oh, I am. That's so weird. Can I um just come back, like, get out of this screen? Yeah, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. I'm
Okay.
connected.
Yeah. Do you by any chance have a laptop?
I do. Fuck. I do. I do have a laptop.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll just continue this for now. The phones seem to be a massive issue. So your energy is interfering with the energy field around your phone, and it's causing an interference. So that's just the way it is. I've learned for next time, make sure people have a laptop if they do.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So carrying what you were saying about
I
just
don't know
carrying
what
what you were saying.
I have no idea what I was saying.
So you're saying that if you've got nothing else to do, then just be. But there's always something else to do that might be better. But rather than chasing it, when you have that new experience, be with it again. So
Yeah.
don't chase something new all the time. But when something new does come around,
Yeah. Because to chase something that isn't there is to chase something that isn't real. Like it's a fantasy to chase something that isn't present.
yeah, it's a dream, it's a vision, it's a fantasy, it's an illusion, a hallucination, something in your head
Yeah.
that you've seen or made up. It doesn't mean it's gonna become real. What is real is like now, like this podcast is real
Yeah.
now.
But it wasn't real like 5 seconds ago.
No.
Have you ever done like
Have you ever done what?
psychedelics?
No, I haven't. I would like to, but I haven't done any yet because I've not got any friends to do it with, and I've not got any dealers to call up, and I've not got money to be spending on drugs, and I need to be in a nice vibration of like-minded people, which they do not exist where I live. They are in Bali right now, or in the middle of fuck it on Thailand or something. They're all there, or someplace in Australia.
So what are you doing there?
What am I doing? What?
What are you doing there? Do you
Where?
have family like where you live? Where do you
Yeah,
live?
England.
Yeah, do you have family there?
Yeah, but yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you have like friends that are on the same kind of like
No.
wavelength as you at
No,
all?
I am a black sheep in a field of very, very white sheep, and there
Dude,
is no human in sight like myself. My whole life, I've never met anyone like myself. Hence why I've got no friends, because I didn't want people in my life who weren't on the same vibration as me,
I
because
understand you. Fuck,
it
that's
it
tough.
was I'm talking my whole life. My whole life, never had friends, never got on with anyone, and to the point where I realized I'm never gonna
There's
connect.
there is absolutely no one around you that has kind of like experienced something more like I don't know how to like
I've never
spiritual
met
or anything.
anyone around myself who has my mindset. I have been on Tinder since I was like 18. If they were around me, I would have matched with them by now. Okay? There is no one around me. The nearest place is London, and that's an hour away, and even then they're not they've either got deeper issues that they're running from and we're not really on the same page, or they are aware but still searching. So we're not completely on the same page. It's rare to meet somebody who's worked everything out, have got their shit together, and you just gel. There's always like an imbalance of they need teaching more than you. And it's like, well, this defeats the object of me being here. I want to just vibe with you because you get it. I don't want to see your pain, want to heal you, and I see your pain, and then you feel inferior, and then we don't see each other. I find that this my podcast. That's why it's all around the world, because these people are spread out. Like you're in wherever you are in Canada, America, whatever. These people are literally around the world. They don't exist in the same energy field on the physical part of the earth. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the way it is. They do not exist. You
Yeah,
can't just.
yeah.
I've never met anyone in this country
Dude,
who,
community is so fucking important.
huh?
Community.
I know that. Yeah,
Like
that's why everyone
you
fucks off the.
like you need that, dude.
I know, but I have no. There's not here. It's like I can't chase something which isn't here. I've accepted the fact that like
So
this
you've
is not
accepted
here.
it, but you're never going to change.
No, 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 no. I know I want to have enough money that I can travel the world and say just come and see you, for example, and vibe with you and your tribe. But
Yeah.
I've accepted the fact that I can't just get in my car and cycle 20 minutes down the road to see my tribe. I've accepted
Dude, you'd
that.
fucking love my friends, bro, if you met them.
I would, right?
You really would. You'd vibe so hard with them.
Exactly. But these people, they're just around the world, and for whatever reason, say Canada, wherever you live, they seem to
Like
be more in
Boston.
those Boston. They seem to be more basically. They're just not in England. I mean, they might be. I've just not met them, but
Why is that?
for example, England's got this stiff upper lip culture, like don't show emotion, keep yourself to yourself. Nobody
Yeah.
says hello in the street. It's just like very um royal family, just like upper lip stiff, and
Yeah.
it must be that culture, because you go to America and it was like, hi, how you doing? Hey, come over, tea. Yeah.
It's actually not like that. Oh wait, what do you mean?
I
Wait.
mean, like in America, it's all about energy and vibration, and like we're America, like. And in England, it's always like nobody says hello to you. Everyone's boring. Everyone's like it's just a different energy, and maybe that's just what it is. Like it's
Okay.
just the vibrations of people in my country alone. Um,
I feel like there's probably that one collective consciousness where you live, because in Boston and the neighboring cities, like we're known to be assholes. Like they literally call us massholes, because the state that I live in is Massachusetts, and they literally call us massholes. Isn't that funny? Like that's ridiculous. So like I do think that there are just so much groups of people that gather here, that there isn't that just one collective consciousness, because there are some really like people that are
Shitty
just
assholes.
shitty, and not even, I was going to say sheep, just people that are just sheep and that just follow. Do you know what I mean? But then there's these other, there's groups that are different. Like we have a very dynamic, different, like just different groups coming together. So I think it's just around where you live, it's just that one collective consciousness, that one group, and then there's one, and then there's you. There's like, and then there's you. You know, here it's like we have like just lots of groups of people, and I think that's what and it kind of like it makes it so that you get experienced and kind of like exposed to just like everyone. Like I have family that is definitely really in the matrix, and then I have groups of friends that that aren't, that they understand. And all of Boston's like that. There's so many cities, there's a lot of Trump supporters here. Like we have everything here, you know what I mean? Like there's your hippies, and there's your freaking racist people, and then there's that, and then there's this, and so it's
like you've got different streams of consciousness of, say, people like us. You've got someone like me who I would say is extremely wise, and you've got other people who are wise but not the same level of wisdom, and they know different things. I've lived such a life of independence, doing me, free thinking, keeping my shit to myself, that as much as I would love social groups and tribes and dynamics, because I know I'm not the same. I might be more similar to you than other people, and they might be more similar to me than, say, people from school. But because I literally am one in a trillion, I don't fit in anywhere. I can see there's a difference. So, for example, your tribe, you may really feel like the same, like you literally are all the same, right?
No.
And therefore you might feel more in harmony. But with me, if I am around people I don't feel the same, my energy doesn't harmonize and fit in, and I don't want to be there as much as I really want to be part of a tribe.
I don't think you can say that. You're speculating and you're assuming something that isn't real.
I've also never had it, so I don't know.
Right. So there's like no point of even saying that. You don't want to even put that in your awareness. You're kind of calling in energies that are of what you just said. You know what I mean? More of that. And I feel like you can definitely vibe with people that are on the same page with you. Mind you, you're not going to find someone that is exactly like you. Why would you even want that? Why would you want to talk to yourself? I mean, I guess that'd be cool, but you know what I mean? Like you want to be around people that differ from you so that you can learn. And that doesn't mean that they're not as intelligent or they're not as aware. It just means that you're different. And but it works. You know, and I can tell you that a lot of my friends, we just are so different. We are like, maybe I have like one friend that is very similar to me, but still it's like we are very different, but we understand each other and we're kind of on the same vibration. That doesn't mean we're the same just because we're on the same vibration.
Yeah, you made your point. I think it's just I've never been part of a group, that I'm doing it based on experiences of old groups, like at school days with people who I had no connection with, or even just a part-time job with just boring old shitty people, that I'm basing it on that. And when you are part of a group and they all appreciate you, value, and want you to be there, which is I've never had, it's different. Because now I don't feel the need to say I've got to go because I don't feel comfortable, and they're like, okay, whatever. Like I've not had that wanted in a group. So you might be correct, which is I'm doing it based on past experiences of the wrong types of people. So you are right.
I do hope that you eventually like leave wherever the fuck you're at and just like experience the world. I'll keep you in my prayers, yo. You deserve that.
No, so my aim is to make as much money as possible and just travel the world whenever I want, wherever I want, and explore humanity. Like say there's a flood in Louisiana. I get on that plane. I say, hey, you live near Louisiana, yeah? And you're like, yeah. And I say, right, meet me in Louisiana airport, and we're gonna go and with my cash, go and get loads of food from Walmart. I'm gonna go and deliver it to them, and then I'll be like, hey, you near Africa? And you'll be like, no, I could go. I'll be like, right, meet me in Africa. We're gonna build a mud hut for some black people. Like to me, that is what life is gonna be about for me. It's about
Yeah.
serving humanity and the human connections along the way. So it doesn't have to be like people part of my tribe. It's just
Yeah.
the reaction of, oh my God, thank you so much. Like thank you for making this muffin or making this meal for us. Even if it's for a day, that's just serving humans, but on a wider level.
I understand. Yeah.
And then there's an Australian fire, and I'll go over there. But I need money to do that. I can't just. I
Right.
need
Right. Of
money
course.
to do that.
Yeah, you do need money. How's your podcast doing? Like, how are you achieving that? Like, what are you doing to achieve that goal of yours?
Well, I initially started the podcast because I wanted the talk show, and then I realized that that is relying on somebody else, and I want to rely on myself and have that as a side option. So then I just started to focus on just doing the podcast, and then TV is a side option.
Okay.
And now I've gone from doing the podcast for the purpose of making money to doing the podcast because I love speaking to people, and as an addition, putting it online for people to enjoy too, as opposed to doing it just for content for people to listen. So it would be, oh, I need to make sure I've got an episode a week because people are going to listen and fuck off if I don't upload it. And I was like, no, I'm doing it for me. I'm enjoying this moment. I'm not going to feel pressured by anyone to do certain things because then you're not doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for passion. You're doing it for somebody else. And then people listen and then they fuck off. So for the people you thought you're doing it for, they're not even listening anymore. So it's like, well, why am I doing this? So I had to
Yeah.
flip my mindset of like, okay, I really enjoy speaking to people. And if everyone else can listen and enjoy it too, that's a bonus. But I'm not doing it for the purpose of making money from the podcast. And with anything in time, consistency will create opportunities, but I'm not doing it solely for that.
Right.
And that's the difference of the mindset
Mhm.
of where I am right now. Because I could go to like another country and then just do a podcast with like a firefighter when when there's Australian wildfires, I just say, hey, bro, let's just do a podcast. And all that means is we sit down and press record and chat. And that's the beauty
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
just speaking to a human being. Like other humans are like, wow, another human being.
Yeah. It'd be cool to eventually do that in person, just to kind of
Yeah,
like see that interaction instead of doing it like this.
yeah. So my dream is to like get a podcast van and just travel the world in the van. So you go from like
Oh, yes,
country to
yes.
country, and then I just pull up somewhere and then just do a podcast with somebody, and then go into LA, do a few podcasts with some like
You don't
celebs
even
or
have
whatever.
that.
Well, you need like 20 grand for the podcast van.
Yep.
Then you just need a driver to drive it, unless you want to drive it yourself. And
You can
then you
start
just,
off like that.
yeah, and you just stop off at places and just podcast with people and meet
Yeah.
people and like just that's the most amazing thing ever. And and people become part of your journey. Like they start to listen and to see where you are now. And he's like, wow, he was in Ohio and now he's
Yeah.
in Louisiana. And now he's in Texas and now he's going to Mexico. And then he's going to, you know, they're just ideas coming through my head. And then you just meet people along the way, podcast with them, and just shit happens, man. Like people will invite you into their house for food and stay with them, and you meet people, and it's
Yeah.
like, wow, the universe looks after you. I don't even need money from this podcast because I'm just being given like love
Right.
and
Right.
feeling
It's
and
that energetic
items.
exchange. Yeah.
People give me a ring because they really loved me, and that ring's worth say 2,000 quid. That's like a month's worth of wages. So that's what life has always been. It's not
Yeah.
about cash for trade. It's about just trading something of value and what you see as
Right.
that value.
Right.
And to
Energetic
me, a
exchange.
human connection is the ultimate.
Hmm. So where would you travel if you had that opportunity? Like
Anywhere,
the first place, some place that really calls you. Like where's that place that you're just like, oh, I want to go there.
um, somewhere like it's just nature, like the jungle,
Okay. So you'd
Thailand
want to go to the
jungle.
jungle first.
I'd want to. I don't know. I've not thought about it that deep. Like to me, it'll just be I've got money. I think of a place, and then I get on that plane,
Well, think
and I
about a
go
place now. Go that deep. Where would you go? Like in this moment, if you can go anywhere right now, pack your bags. Let's go.
Amazon rainforest.
Why?
So like Colombia when you watch his El Chapo stuff on Netflix, and they've got their river boats and they're
Yeah.
smuggling cocaine down the river through jungles on this
Yeah.
like piece of wood. That
Hmm.
that just the stream, the river, the jungles, the mountains. That is my ideal. Like, oh my God, I just want to just lay there right now. Arizona, like just mountains and desert and as natural as possible. Like when you come across an old train track in a film like Breaking Bad, you come across a train track from like 200 years ago. There's an old burnt out car, like just desert and just as natural and as away from man as possible, untouched habitat. That's like the dream. But you obviously need money to get a helicopter there, because
That's sweet.
But what I really want to happen is TV, and they pay for a documentary of me to travel around the world. So on Netflix, you got something called Jack Whitehall. Jack Whitehall travels with his father. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't, but I know what you mean.
A comedian travels with his father, right? And he goes to say different countries: America, Paris, Amsterdam, India, whatever. So you get to experience all of that. Somebody else does everything for you, does the flight, books the food, books accommodation, and you just turn up and be yourself in front of a camera. That's my awesome. Absolute, like, put me in front of a camera and take me to another country. Oh my God, you can't get better than that.
Yeah.
That is like David Attenborough when he travels to other countries. Like, it's a fine example. David Attenborough just goes to any country and he's in that moment in the Antarctic with a fish floating down the stream. As the fish starts to migrate, the animals decide to go into the unknown. Yeah, and he's just being filmed as well. So the people listening are benefiting as a bonus from him really in his habitat, of which is nature. Like this podcast, I'm in my habitat element now, speaking to somebody in the same wavelength. Others listening is a bonus. Being filmed in that moment of wow, looking around, others watching is a bonus. Yeah.
So what do we talk about now?
Anything.
Dude, my mind has never been this blank ever.
Why?
Like I don't know. I just feel so like thoughtless. That's awesome.
What is that? Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I guess not really in this like context, because I should be having ideas, but I'm just so empty right now. Yeah. Oh, I actually have a good topic of conversation. I'm actually going to do a like, what is it, a microdose meditation tonight. It's like I'm gonna take a microdose of ayahuasca.
Are you?
Yeah.
Sick. Where? Who with?
A bunch of friends. Well, it's an organization of a bunch of like people that come out to different places, and they're gonna come out to these woods, and we're all gonna gather and take a bit of ayahuasca and meditate.
I got a question. Joe Rogan always does mushrooms on his podcast. Is mushrooms legal in America?
No.
At all, anywhere?
Nope.
So he's doing mushrooms in LA, right?
Yeah.
Like, surely if people heard that, the police would go down and, like, he's got a substance on him. How does that work?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe they got money, man.
Yeah, money, but like it's like
power. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not. No, but like he does mushrooms, speaks about it. If someone heard about that, then he's got possession on him. He's not stupid enough to do it on air for people to hear.
Well,
right now,
you can talk about it, but as long as he's never
so basically
taken
okay,
them, right?
yeah. So the difference is that he says he's on mushrooms or he's just done mushrooms. So because he's already consumed it, that means there's no. You can't be.
Yeah,
you can't be done for it.
Nah, I think you can get in trouble. I don't know. I don't know the specific, but I know that having mushrooms on you is like really illegal.
But then he said on his podcast, let's do mushrooms now.
I don't know, man.
However, when he does it, it doesn't go out to the air until a few days later. So when he does it, it's recorded. Then it goes out a few days later, which 3 days is gone. Okay, so yes, that's what he's doing.
Maybe it's like but then it's gone. I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, but like if you saw somebody stab somebody on a CCTV camera or somebody,
can't compare that, dude.
No, but
you
like,
can't compare that.
Get run over on a camera on an iPhone camera.
Compare that, those two things.
police can still arrest you because you've seen it on the camera. Like you committed a crime on
Yeah, but
camera.
that's different, dude. That's so different. You literally just said murder
Well,
compared
no,
to eating
no,
mushrooms.
it ignores the law, right? So whether you do like you're smuggling heroin, you're smoking heroin, and you've killed somebody, it's still, or you push an old man in front of a car, it's
Yeah,
still
but
the
he's
law.
not selling. He's not. It's different because they probably don't really care to like look for someone like that because he's not selling. Like if he was on there to promote, like, hey guys, like I'm out here selling mushrooms, like like obviously he's gonna get caught up, but
So
he's
it's for
not.
his own personal use.
Yeah, it's personal use. He's not, and he probably says certain things too that doesn't get him in trouble. So like he's probably not promoting them either. Like, oh, you guys should take mushrooms. Like that, he'll get in a lot of trouble for it.
He said once, "Do you want to take some mushrooms?" And then the other guy
To
was like,
someone though,
"Huh?"
not to the audience.
Yeah, to the person in the room who's doing the podcast with. He was
Yes,
like,
not the
"Let's do
audience
some
though.
mushrooms."
Yeah, that's the difference though. I don't know. I don't know.
That's the difference.
Yeah, maybe.
If you were a bird, would you? Where would you fly to?
If I was a bird, where would I fly to? Oh, that's a good question. I'd fly to the highest mountain top or a tree. No, I would love to get a perspective of birds. So I'd literally just like go inside a bird nest and just chill in there. I don't know. I just like chill in a bird nest, like on top of a tree.
So you're a bird and you come across a nest, maybe you built it yourself, and you just sort of chill in there and look out all day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh wait, no, I'd be a baby bird, right? Okay, I have it all. So I'd be a baby bird, and I'd be in my nest, and the mother, is pushing me to fly off of this thing. So I'm faced with like fear. But then you feel that flight and then you're just in complete freedom. So I'd want to be that bird, the bird that's the baby bird that is in between this kind of life or death, and also knowing that it needs to leave the nest. It needs to be independent. It needs to fly free. So I'd want to be that bird.
So basically, a guy's been wanked off, and just as he's about to come, she grabs his cock. That in between of like
Wait,
building
what?
up, building up to that bird flying and flying. That peak of, oh my god, shit, I'm gonna jump. Just before you're about to come, you don't. That climax, that bit of like,
Yeah,
fuck, I could go, but I'm not. I could go, but I'm not. That
yeah,
perfect balance of grey on the
yeah,
fence.
yeah. Yeah, and that's funny you bring that up. We were actually talking about that with a group of friends last night. We were talking about like being intimate with partners and how men tend to be the ones that just want to go all the way and already orgasm and instead of like building it up into that, and eventually, like right before you're gonna orgasm, just stay there and be present there, like, and so yeah, that's kind of, yeah, with the whole thing with the bird. I really like that in between kind of like you're feeling almost like the polarities coming together. So you're not there, but you're also not there. Therefore, you're all of it.
Yes,
You're like one with
yes.
it all.
You're feeling three different feelings that I want
Oh,
something, I'm getting
yeah,
something, but I've not quite
exactly.
got it, versus I've had it and that
And therefore,
feeling
I
is
don't.
just
Yeah,
disappeared. So it's like the feeling of nothing versus three. So feeling of not quite there, got it, and haven't quite got it. Those three
like
feelings.
Trinity. But you
Yeah,
wouldn't even see it as three things. It just merged, especially if you allow it.
yeah, because in your mind you're kind of waiting to come, but then you want to come, so your mind's there wanting to, and it's here like this feels so good, don't come, and then it's like the build up of you want to
Yeah,
go higher. So yeah, that trinity thing is very
that's real.
interesting because
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
do come, that feeling is gone. That feeling of those three things can't exist because
Right,
you've gone past it. It's like the train's gone past. There's no train anymore. So
right.
the train is the feeling of building up, the
Mhm.
holding, and the coming. Very powerful. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting that you asked that question and it came to that. It really is that moment. I notice I do that a lot in my life where I like to bring
It's
myself
called
to the
edging. It's
best.
called edging.
Edging? Okay.
when a guy's wanking and he doesn't come, it's called edging. Like you're on the edge. So
Okay.
living in that edge where you're neither that. It's like gay, lesbian, bisexual. You're like neither this, that, or you're gender fluid. So you're just flowing wherever it goes. You could come, you could not come, you could stand in the middle, you could go down a level, go up a level. You
Mm.
just have the choice of all three. So that's like quantum